of that, as always, we're kicking off the show.
It's true. It's true.
With stand-up comedy.
Yeah, yeah. Round of applause and drum roll. Macy Scott, everybody.
I'm gonna move this, I think. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Macy Scott, and this is my first time ever doing stand-up. Everyone, yeah, thank you. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Shouting you out on TV. Everyone keeps telling me to break a leg, but I'd wish they'd clarify whose leg I'm supposed to be breaking, because if it's mine, I'm gonna need better insurance and possibly funds for a scooter to get around campus. Waymos are really expensive. When I was writing this set, I was struggling to come up with jokes, as I'm not the most witty per se, so I thought the only reasonable thing was to make my set personal. And what's more personal than birthdays? Woo! If you don't know, my birthday was about a month ago on March 11th, so naturally I did what any mentally stable person would do and Googled the entire history of March 11th. For context, my mom's birthday is January 8th, and she has several positive historical milestones that happened, and it's also National Bubble Bath Day on her birthday. So I thought, okay, let's look at my birthday, right? I have a list for you of historical events. 1863, the Great Sheffield Flood kills 238 people. 1888, an East Coast blizzard kills over 400 people. 2009, 15 German citizens are killed in a school shooting. 2011, an earthquake in Japan kills almost 20,000 people, and most recently, 2020, the World Health Organization declares COVID-19 as a pandemic. Wow, my 14th birthday. So I thought, okay, maybe the people born on my birthday are better. You know, my mom shares a birthday with icons like David Bowie, Elvis Presley, Cynthia Erivo, and I thought surely I have someone, right? Right? The only person that I found to take note of would be Johnny Knoxville, famous for his show Jackass. So as any person would do, I continued to scroll Wikipedia until I found a random actor from the early 20th century, thinking, this will be good, you know, like theater kid to theater kid. Then I read his biography. He was most famous for playing the assassin John Wilkes Booth. Okay, so every actor plays villains from time to time, but to make matters worse, he played Mr. Booth in one of the most infamously racist movies of all time, The Birth of a Nation. And you know what? Okay, so maybe my birthday's bad, but surely my half-birthday is better, right? Let's do the math. Ready? Let's count. Ready? April, May, June, July, August, September 11th. And to really put the cherry on top, I also happen to have a twin sister who also shares the same half birthday as me, obviously. And I think there is a more important set of twins to be focusing our attention on September 11th. Speaking of awful things, let's talk about high school. I remember there was this one girl in my English class who would claim she had every mental health disorder on the planet, and she'd romanticize them heavily. She'd always listen to music in the morning too loud, so you could hear it through your earbuds, and usually it'd start with the recognizable nasally tune, Everybody Hurts by R.E.M., and then followed shortly after by The Smiths and Alice in Chains. You're not even giving yourself a chance to start the day with that one. Meanwhile, it's 9 a.m. I'm trying to write an essay on Munchausen syndrome, which is where someone fakes an illness for attention, and I was really debating whether or not I should ask if she could be considered a case study for my research, for my essay. And don't get me wrong, I know what music you listen to does not necessarily equate to your mental health, but then she'd open Netflix during class, and the only thing that was there was 13 Reasons Why. And at that point, all you can hope for is that she sticks with Spotify and doesn't move on to cassette tapes. I promise I'm a huge advocate for mental health, okay? Okay? Right? Living in Austin has been great this past school year. I'm a transfer student, but as a film student, it's so important to network, to find opportunities. Like when I was volunteering in October at the Austin Film Festival, one of my shifts got canceled because of technical difficulties, and I went to the theater next door asking if they needed any help. They didn't need me, so I stood out front and talked to security for a little bit before I ran into this older man we shall call Frank. Frank didn't have a festival badge, but he apparently knew the security guards and was a frequent visitor of the theater, so they were going to let him into the movie anyway. I like that, right? I love free things. He was in a wheelchair, so that's why he was at the front of the line with me. And so we talked about randomness for a while, and then he mentioned that he also had a niece who was also a film student at UT, and I'm like, okay, what could go wrong? So the conversation wasn't too weird, right? A while later, I was called to go help with the lines, but before I left, he asked if I wanted him to save me a seat up front. And of course I said yes. Because what could go wrong? Hello, I didn't want to sit in the back. The movie was great, and after it ended, I assumed that would be the end of our conversation, but then he asked to exchange information. I was hesitant, but I thought if anything went wrong, I could just block his number, right? He then texted me on a random Sunday afternoon and asked if I've ever been to ACL Live before. I said no, and he told me he had won tickets to see Leon Thomas for free and that I could have the other ticket. That's not shady. I opted to go because I'd never seen a live broadcast before. So I made my way downtown and told my mom the situation, and I could tell she thought it was the shadiest thing she'd ever heard. In my defense, I told her, "What's he gonna do, outrun me?" I didn't tell her this part, but his electric wheelchair was surprisingly fast, and I did have to run to catch up to him at one point. The concert was great, and he surprisingly knew all the security and volunteers at this venue as well, and I haven't heard from him since. So ladies, the moral of this story is to talk to old men because you'll probably get something out of it and end up just fine. Anyway, I know the set was kind of short, but if you liked my jokes tonight, please feel free to ask the showrunners to invite me back. But if you hated my set, please direct all your complaints to my ghostwriter, Oliver Hanchy, who is one of the producers of the show. April Fools, I don't have a ghostwriter. I don't have a ghostwriter. Thank you and good night.